About 37%.
So how are you feeling? You know, you're going into a runoff against a guy who's been there for how long?
Yeah, 20 years or so. And I think right now the numbers speak volumes. I may have only gotten not quite the percentage that he got, but you've got 53% of people out there that say they want something different and want something other than an establishment candidate. So that's where I come in. I've had 20 years of public service experience, 19 of that being in law enforcement, and I've worked in the community, worked with the community for years, so I'm very familiar with a lot that's going on out there.
And what do you mean 53%?
53% of the vote between myself and the other candidate, Mr. Antonio Hunter, we split that 53%. So there's 53% of people out there that want to change, want something different.
And you feel that you can propel that into trying to beat an incumbent?
Absolutely, absolutely. At this point, I think what we're seeing is kind of a sweeping change throughout the city. You've got a lot of incumbents that didn't go in, and you've got a lot of folks that are looking towards the future, and they want something different, they want something more, they want growth, they want progression. I think that's what we're seeing in the city of Savannah. I think that he gets things done for a certain group of people. You've got a lot of folks out there that are neglected. Yesterday, just like every other day, I've been riding around the south side, riding around the 6th District. We've got sidewalks that need to be repaired. We have places that don't even have sidewalks. Just the other day, there was a homeless man that got hit on Abercorn. We don't have pedestrian crosswalks in places where we need them. We don't have pedestrian crosswalks near the schools. We don't have bicycle safety lanes. There's a lot that is being neglected. We've got a lot of so-called parks in the area, but if you drive down Windsor Road, you'll see 2 vacant lots with a sign that says Windsor Park. There's nothing there. It's an overgrown lot, a sign that says your SPLOST dollars at work. And I think that's just a mismanagement of money, and I think that the folks in the 6 deserve a lot better than that.
And so he's just one vote, though, so would he control sidewalks in fairness?
I think what it comes down to is it comes down to how he advocates for it and how he presents it to City Council. So I've noticed in looking at the budget, there's been, so many dollars allocated to the 6th District, and I've heard various things. There's, $1 million going towards, we don't really know because I've seen it earmarked in a presentation for a senior center, but then it was in discussion with him that it was going to be used for somewhere at Savannah Mall, and I don't think, when it comes to Savannah Mall, I don't even think he should have a voice in that. One, because he's part of the problem of why Savannah Mall is the way it is. He wants to talk about how you've got a dying mall because people aren't paying their bills. Well, he's part of that problem. So that's what we're running into. He should not have a say in what happens with Savannah Mall. He's talked about having a senior center, building a brand new senior center. We have buildings in the area. One building, and I'll point out, is the old Kroger. I reached out to the folks, the developers of the old Kroger, and put an idea that I'd like to see a senior center. That's the location I would like to see it. I've talked to folks in the area. It's handicap accessible. It's ADA accessible. We can put a youth center there. There's public transit that goes right in front of it. It's the perfect location. We don't want to start building something when we have resources here in the 6th District that we can use and reach out to these folks and be able to use them. That location over there, it's a prime spot. And right now we're having a lot of issues with homeless folks living in that area right around there because it's a rundown, vacant building, and we have to fix those areas before we start looking at building anything else.
Mm-hmm. Just going back to Savannah Mall, I do believe he asserts he doesn't have a lien, or that he disputes what they're saying about him.
He disputes it, but the court records tell a different story. When it comes to legal proceedings, a lot of that stuff's public record. It's been put out there time and time again. I don't remember the number, but no, it's public record. He does have a lien against him.
So you believe you would represent kind of a new face and kind of new energy?
Absolutely. What I think is the biggest difference that differentiates myself from Tony Thomas is the fact that I get out there and listen to people. I may not agree with everybody, but I'm not going to block everybody on social media. I'm not going to get in an argument with folks on social media. We may agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, I'm going to listen to what you have to say because you're my constituent, and we'll try to find some common ground. My goal is to make sure that I'm a voice for everybody, whether or not they support me. I want to see this area progress. I want to see this area grow and prosper. We have lots of kids in this area. This is a middle-class, neighborhood. We have some areas that are really impoverished that we need to fix and we need to get involved in. We have nothing for youth around here, and we have to fix that.
And so, what are you doing? Because you are running against an incumbent. Now you've got to get people who voted for the other guy to not only vote for you, but you have to get your people to vote. So what's happening?
The good thing is Mr. Antonio Hunter did endorse me. He went on Savannah Morning News and endorsed me. So I've got that support there. Now it's just reaching out to a lot of his folks. And I've got a great campaign team. We've been canvassing neighborhoods. My motto lately, and I've told everybody this, is little sleep, lots of work, and that's where I've been. So it's been canvassing neighborhoods, walking around neighborhoods, and coming here and talking to a lot of these business owners, trying to find what it is, the strong points that make them want to stay here and the weak points that make them want to leave here. So my biggest thing is trying to reach out to our folks to say, hey, what can we do to keep you here? Because it's not only like that with businesses, but residents as well. You know, when we start having businesses close here, people don't want to live here. They want somewhere where they have convenience to where they live. So the biggest thing is getting out there, talking to folks, listening to what they have to say, pushing stuff through social media so we have an outlet, and then canvassing the neighborhood. Sometimes there's no better interaction than face-to-face. I mean, I can put the stuff on Facebook all day long, but getting out there, being at the neighborhood association events, being at their meetings, talking to folks in the neighborhood. I've hosted I don't know how many different things. Veterans Day, we were at the VA. We had a lot of folks come over. We were in the parade downtown. We had a little spot set up. Folks came over and talked to us. There are times when I may host something over off of Windsor Road or Largo Road, and it's just doing these little community events and putting it out there and having folks come in just to say hi or voice their opinion or tell me your concerns. We're going to be doing a lot more of that before December 3rd. So we've got less than 2 weeks, and I've got 3 events already between now and that point. Actually, my last event will be the night before the election day, and it's going to be late that night. So we'll be talking to folks, and it's probably the big District 6 town hall that I'll be hosting.